listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
To battle is to fight, to struggle, to overcome, and ultimately for the Marine Corps, it means to win. There is no alternative. It's not just a statement of intent. It's a promise to our nation. A promise kept for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
All right, folks. You're listening to Thunder Thursday, and here we are.
Morning, Tony.
You are there, we are here.
Boy, that's really profound. What did you just say? I might want to repeat it on the speaking tour.
You are there, we are here.
Oh, okay, it's not as profound as I thought. I have missed so much that call of Thunder
Thursday.
I wake up on Thursday mornings when I can't get here.
Right, and you just listen to the thunder. Yeah, it all depends who's on, though. Sometimes I don't really gravel it too much. I graveled up for you today, man. So this is Tony Marmo, and my esteemed colleague, partner.
I had forgotten for a second. It's Donald Williams, and called many other things.
Nothing
that we can repeat
hyphenated at all. So how are you? How's it going?
Well,
the world is interesting.
We all have challenges in our lifetime, Tony, and we're battling some challenges, but life is still good. It's beautiful. What a beautiful time of the year.
I think so, right? This is one of my favorites. September is could be my most favorite month of the year.
You know something? It's funny you say that because I used to hate September. And that was because for 14 years as a young assistant DA, when we tried a lot of cases, I had to appear in front of Judge Vogt, who was a tremendous judge. But golf season was ending in September, and trial season was really starting, so he
just cranked it up.
He cranked it up, and as soon as it got to be the last 2 weeks of August, John Prizzi, myself, and the other assistants, you could see the stress level building. But now, in retirement,
now it's
when I can't figure out what in God's name to do with my life on a daily basis, September's great, except this morning.
So what's happening this morning?
Thank you for asking that.
Yeah, what happened this morning?
That was very because I haven't been getting up at 5:45 until
today
for this show,
right,
because I haven't been able to come to the show for a little bit, as you know.
Right.
But I woke up this morning at 5:45, and I said it's still dark in this room.
Yeah. Well,
and I began to take your name in vain. And it brought back fond memories of the first time I agreed to be on the show and had to walk.
You were slunging through the snow,
walk
man.
7 miles through a blizzard.
Right, exactly. And I was duly impressed. This guy, he's got game.
No,
trudging in the snow.
I think you said, I think the lobotomy kicked in. That's what you exactly said. But damn, it's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you here, man. It's good to have you here. We have a good show today, I think.
Yeah,
right?
some interesting stuff. Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. You want to?
No.
Yeah. So, right. We have our the veterans on, Kevin Keaveny, Jessica Bugbee, talking about a program they're involved in. There are two folks involved in the Hudson Valley National Center for Veteran Reintegration. Kevin, boat builder. So they have a water theme today. I won't tell you much more about that, but tune in at 7:30 or keep listening right now. And our 8 o'clock guest is...
He's looking at you like it's either in awe or...
Steve Kelley.
I know. Oh, my man, Pots and Pans.
Pots and Pans? I think he's our second guest. Yes.
He is our second guest.
Steve Kelley,
CEO.
He sent this wonderful thing to me. It said, Steve Kelley, CEO. And I'm going...
Yeah.
CEO of what? and then immediately go, oh, Steve Kelley from Ellenville.
Ellenville Community Hospital will be calling in.
Right. And then thirdly?
We have our friends from Ulster Federal Credit Union coming in. Cast of characters that...
I can never pronounce Bill's last name.
Yeah, but it's not going to be Bill.
Oh, Lawrence was just good enough to pass the local newspaper today, the Daily Freeman. I can see it. It's quite voluminous. I think there are 3 pages in it.
Yeah, the Shad Rapper. Vince DeLuca used to call it.
Vince DeLuca and Sean O'Brien.
Yeah.
Was a part of this show.
Right.
I think he was the one that coined Shad Rapper.
Shad Rapper.
I call it something else, but...
So let's do a little, around the world, around the nation, around Ulster County, real quick. Oh gosh, yeah. What's
our president?
You want to start? Yeah, you want to start at the national level.
President.
Yeah, he's.
I was
struggling,
not, and
right?
I know I can
struggling
for 40 years. I could never say anything about politics, my opinions, because of what I did. And now I can. This is a struggle. And I was no fan of Donald Trump.
Right.
Policies, good. Person, problematic. But this is embarrassing. He will not take any questions.
Yeah.
The President of the United States has somebody in his ear saying, shut down. It's sad. It's embarrassing. Forget Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, progressive.
We got to do better with our leaders. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's a daunting process if somebody says, well, I want to be president of the United States. I mean, look, it's a whole different level that most of us have no concept about. But, boy, we're just not doing well with our leadership, And
well, the problem is it seems that both parties, Republican and Democrat, to a large extent have been dominated by the fringe membership.
Yeah.
Either extremely conservative or extremely liberal or progressive. And so, in essence, the primary system is broken.
Yeah.
Because the individuals that are running on both sides have to cater to that fringe aggressive side. And in this particular case, it normally ends up that somebody closer to the middle is elected. And that's what I thought we would have with Biden, but my God.
Yeah, it was a bait and switch, I think, right?
I'm not sure what it's. Well, he has never had an original thought in his life, for God's sake. You have to remember, he was committing plagiarism when he was a student.
Right. He honed his skills.
He honed his skill, and you get him off the teleprompter, it's an embarrassment.
Yeah.
So, it's an embarrassment when he's on the teleprompter, but... Anyway,
I think you said it. I think most people are center right, center left, 1 or 2 standard deviations, depending on what's going on in your life or how you grew up or what your philosophies are. But that group of people just doesn't seem to be as vocal, right, as the folks on the fringes.
And that has always been true. It's just now the news media either left or right, has become so intensely biased, and
Yeah, it's.
I used to watch CNN and Fox,
Right.
and try to decide that the proof was somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Now you can't.
Now you can't figure it out one way or
Can't
the
figure
other.
anything out
Yeah,
now.
and the rest of the world is probably in equally, a fair amount of tumult or turmoil, kind of sort of like us. I mean, so it's a crazy place, and the pandemic has made all that
Sure.
a lot worse.
Well, at least we can. My sarcasm. This is dripping sarcasm.
That's
What a
okay.
great.
We love
what a great
dripping
term.
sarcasm.
Dripping sarcasm.
It's
but
got a visual. I love it.
It really does. I've forgotten who first used that term, but what a great term. So, using dripping sarcasm, at least we can feel comfort
Yeah.
knowing that the president really doesn't run our government. It's the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Yeah.
Have you followed these allegations about Milley?
No, I haven't really.
He is,
I'm sorry to say.
well, if this is true indeed, because he was having a problem with President
Joint
Trump
General
at the time,
Chief of Staff.
Joint Chiefs of Staff
Right.
basically runs. Well, he was having problems with Trump as it neared the end of the election. It seems he's a more politician than he is a military man.
That's kind of weird.
Well, not anymore in
Right.
today's woke.
Right, generation.
Yeah.
What about Dwight Eisenhower? Was he? Was he?
I don't think he's around anymore.
He's not.
But
He's not.
no. But he was a great general that ended
He was
up.
not a really great politician per se, was he?
No, that's what people
Right?
say about him.
Yeah,
But he was
his personality
just so
was-
loved
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of what happened in World
Right.
War II. But
Right.
now Milley, in essence, if this is true, has a good relationship with the head of the PLA, the Chinese military.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
And he assured them in a telephone call that if for some reason we were going to attack them, that he would call them first to let them know. I'm
No.
not making this up.
Come
That
on.
is what the claim is. Oh, you got to read this.
Yeah.
That's what the claim is. Rest at ease, because if we attack you, I will give you a heads up. If that happened, Tony, I mean,
Yeah,
if that's
well,
not
that's
treason,
grounds for,
if it happened, and I hate
yeah.
jumping to conclusions. I
Right.
always was one to say, let's hear the facts.
Right.
But boy, it's fun to jump to
Yeah,
conclusions.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's
Yeah, I don't know.
been a tough period of time.
Yeah, and I think we're slowly, I mean, the variant notwithstanding, coming out of the, I think it's moving forward. I understand our numbers have ticked up, but.
What is Dr. Fauci saying this week?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. He's the original
I think he's not.
flip-flopper, right?
Well, you know something, in his defense.
Yeah.
This is something
He's
that
Italian.
is new.
That's his defense.
And that's a great defense, as you know.
Right. Well, our governor tried to use that
My
defense.
mom, to this
Right.
day, whose
Or ex-governor.
maiden name was Liccardo, she would love Dr. Fauci. But, I mean, what is going on? What is going on?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a song that somebody did back in the 60s.
What is going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh,
Yeah,
that
Marvin
was
Gaye, I think,
attempted.
did-
Marvin Gaye,
gave you that
one
Yeah,
of my
that's good.
favorite artists, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. I love to use the analogy of the '60s, for this kind of period that we're in. A lot of unrest, a lot of social unrest.
Oh.
We didn't have a big pandemic then, but wars, assassinations,
Vietnam.
college
60s was
protests,
Vietnam, was it not? Sure.
college protests.
Or was it early
Jets
70s?
won the World Series.
70s.
Jets won the Super Bowl. No.
Jets won the Super Bowl. Oh, is that when Joe Namath had the stockings on? Yeah. You know something we do? Look, it's great that we've moved on from many of the issues that we had in the
Right.
60s and the 70s, but
Would someone
It's
argue we
also
haven't
night-
moved? Would someone argue we haven't moved on too far?
AOC. It was interesting to see that AOC was at the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Wearing a dress that
Exposed
said
her derriere?
tax the. I don't look at that. tax the rich, and what a great protest. But for the fact that the tickets were $35,000, so did she pay for that, or did it come out of her campaign fund, or did we pay?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
We, the
about this.
taxpayers, paid for that.
I don't think so. I think it probably came out of her
Yeah.
campaign fund.
How's our county doing? You think? How are we doing?
Ulster County?
Yeah,
Brooklyn North.
Brooklyn North.
Yeah.
Ran into our chief executive, county executive, Pat Ryan, yesterday at the Ulster County Chamber Expo. Was up there in the Business Expo, was up in Diamond Mills, great event.
Oh, gosh, I wish I'd gone to
Our
that.
7:30 guests, Kevin Keaveny and Jessica Bugbee were there.
Great.
And Pat Ryan spoke a little bit, and he was there.
I didn't know Pat Ryan was of local fame from the Ryan family.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's good. He's a bright guy.
His dad, Kevin, was on the board of the Benedictine Hospital.
Kevin's a lawyer, Kevin Ryan.
No, insurance.
Kevin's insurance.
There's the
Bill
other
is
Ryans.
Bill
Ryans.
Ryan is the
Right,
insurance.
right.
But Kevin and Bill are brothers, are they not?
Yep.
Okay.
And his mom's name is Patricia, so she's been around the community a long time, and
They used to live up on Noon Lane, right off of.
so yeah. I mean, I think Pat's doing a good job personally.
Well attended.
It was. I mean, I think less than it's been in the heyday. I know because we always have the same spot. Norman Staffing has the same spot right across from the restrooms because you can see everybody there.
In the restroom, Tony.
No, not in the restrooms, coming out of the restroom.
You know something? I'm glad.
Everyone has to go to the restroom. Here's the strategy.
I have to clarify this sometimes. Then you say because the listening audience may be saying, "Is Tony hanging out
in the
restrooms?"
restrooms?
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, if you think about it, the strategy there is everybody's got to use the restroom at some point during the day.
It's a great strategy.
It's a great strategy.
And
you know.
Oh no, I'm not going to go there. I was going to
Anyway,
say something stupid,
but the
such
chamber-
as people leaving the restroom are really relieved.
They're
in a better
relieved,
mood, yeah.
right?
Oh
right.
God! Let's move on
Right,
to another subject.
So no, but it was great, and the business community well represented there. I have to say,
Is this like the Lions? What the Lions Expo used to be like when
yeah,
it was
pretty
at,
much.
okay.
It's they call it the business to business. Not a lot of people strolling through, quite frankly.
Oh, that's too bad.
But it's not. I think it's not intended for that. It's
Other business people.
yeah, Norman Staffing, meet timely signs, or meet
Oh.
blah blah blah. Type.
Good.
So. And I walk-
Networking, I think the
yeah,
modern term.
Yeah, that's the
It's
modern
not even
term.
that
That's the
modern,
modern
is it?
term.
No.
And I walked around with a sign promoting the Italian festival. I had a
Did you have the
sandwich
giant
board?
Did you have the giant bunny costume on? You look so good in that bunny costume.
Yeah, so that was me. But yeah, no, promoted the Italian festival October 10th. That's coming up down in the Strand. It's going to be starting at 11 o'clock, going to 8 o'clock. Plenty of Italian food vendors and great music and street performers.
I definitely have never been. I'm embarrassed to say I've
you gotta
never
come
been
to one.
yeah.
October 10th. It's a Sunday. You can sleep in a little bit because it doesn't start until 11.
What? Oh, it's a Sunday. Saturdays and Sundays are good.
Our
Monday through Friday, my time is suddenly
Yeah.
being taken up a little bit more.
Our
than
honorees
anticipated.
are Mary Tuma. She's the female Signora of the Year. Mary Tuma
of
Tuma Land. I don't know.
I'm glad I'm asked.
She's of Kingston. She's a fitness instructor and over the years, very involved person in many, many, many different organizations, and helps us with our community care program and everything. She's the Energizer Bunny. The Senior of the Year is Bill Calderera, our guest
great.
on KCR, CEO and President of Ulster Savings Bank. And we're giving awards out to Bob Syracusano for community service.
What a great
amazing.
job he does here with
Bob Syracusano, Joe Concra from O Positive, who started that festival. That's become I think almost a national festival now.
And O Positive is the move for artists,
musicians and artists
with health
and
insurance.
Correct, right? No health care. And the Reginatos, Stephanie and Kevin, they're going to get honored.
How good is a Reginatos? I mean, we're lucky we have so many good restaurants locally,
yeah.
but a Reginatos. Once they made, it wasn't even on the menu, they made a zuppa de pêche for me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was so
Yeah, they're
good.
great. And they're two young folks that have gotten involved in the organization. Stephanie's doing the vendors this year, and Kevin's on the membership committee, doing a whole bunch of things, trying to get more talent. So it's great to see, I'll say younger people, not folks in their 60s and 70s, but the younger
Are you
folks.
referring to Lawrence?
Lawrence, yeah, no.
The post. What did I miss?
No, nothing at all. No.
So Italian Festival free to get in. The meatballs cost money. If you gotta.
Oh, wait.
It's free to get in.
It's free to get in, but the meatballs cost money. I'm not.
Well, the point is the food cost, the beer cost, the wine cost. It's not a totally free
Oh,
festival.
it's free admission.
No admission. There's it's free admission, and we
Where-
have some
where is
amazing sponsors down in the Strand, Lower Broadway, and
Okay.
T. Argallo Park, and in front of Mariners Harbor, and
What
kind
do
of
we
down
miss
towards
T.
the-
Argallo?
Yeah.
T.R. was a great mayor.
Yeah, he was an
I
interesting
remember
guy.
standing alongside of Jim Satile and T.R. Gallo at
Yeah.
my first campaign for district attorney. And it was interesting.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
guys.
Different times. Those are different times for sure.
Who is responsible, if I might ask, for the incredibly confusing new lanes of traffic on Broadway? The traffic circle, the new whatever they
I
call
think that's
it,
working pretty good.
that's working well.
Yeah.
It really is, as long as everybody obeys the traffic signs.
Right.
But once you get on, I had to go down to a fundraiser for Tiffany Christiana. Do you know Tiffany? She's running for local.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Anyway, yeah, good lady.
Yeah.
But at 6 o'clock, there should be no traffic on Broadway. It was backed up.
Huh,
And I'm going,
interesting.
and they've taken up
Beyond the traffic circle, I mean, going
beyond
down
the traffic
Midtown
circle,
area.
going down
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
Midtown.
Yeah.
They put a bike lane in, which takes up a significant. When was the last time that you've seen anyone ride a bike on Broadway? Number one. When was the last time you saw it? Number two, if anyone gets on a bicycle and rides on Broadway, they really have a bed for you at the Mid-Hudson Psychiatric Center. I mean, what a crazy spot
I mean,
to put a
Greenkill
bike-
Avenue was the forerunner of this. I mean, we've seen that there, and I guess this was in the
Exactly.
master plan.
You know how many times going down to Twofskill as I'm coming up Washington Avenue and I take that left, you know how many times I've almost run into cars parked in front of me because it's
Yeah.
the lane of traffic?
Yeah, well, it's a couple things. One is it's a change in we're creatures of habit, so this is a whole different system. Secondly, and I'm not a huge defender of it, I'm just saying if you build it, they might come. Might.
Well, I'm all for the bike lanes.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have that in
Right.
Kingston, but
Right.
don't put it on Broadway. Find some back streets where you can get on a bike. Why don't they, like West O'Reilly Street, put a shoulder there or something so people can drive down to the river, the creek?
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean,
Broadway?
it's going to be. Look, here's the thing. We're going to try it, see what happens. It's paint. We can paint over it, pave over it. I don't know. I think I'm curious about what happens. Obviously, in the wintertime, with the plows coming.
All those cars?
I mean, are they going to park there? Or are they going to park in a bike lane? How are they going to plow that thing?
Good point.
Maybe smarter minds have figured that
Well,
one out.
you're gonna have to put studs on your bike tires because they can't. I don't. Did anybody take a look at the bike traffic on Broadway?
Yeah,
Or do they really think people? You can't. If you obey the traffic signs, which bicyclists are supposed to. I cycle, not as often as I should, but you have to stop at every stop sign.
Yeah,
Who
right.
in God's name wants to go on a bike path that every block you're stopping? I don't know.
I remember
don't think it
once upon a time in the late 2000s, I was in Stockholm and Oslo, and they have millions of people on bikes, as many cars as more bikes. I mean, it was a lot. So yeah, this is a whole transformation.
So maybe we'll get used to it.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then I guess my concern is always safety.
It's
Safety, bike
getting on a
safety.
bike. It's one of the reasons I don't cycle as much anymore. Getting on a bike, it only takes one person who's on their cell phone. Or
Right, and that's exactly what happens. If these things are distractors, we know that.
even if you put it on in the car and you follow the law and you put
Right.
it over the speakerphone,
Hands-free.
you're still distracted.
Yeah, right. It's a distraction. But then again, women have put makeup on. Maybe guys have put makeup on in the car.
The same guys that now are giving birth to...
Right, those, yeah.
What is that about?
No, I missed that. What was that one? See, I don't watch a whole lot of news
I haven't followed
these
it
days.
that much, so I shouldn't comment.
Yeah.
Apparently, there is a push that...
No pun intended.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it. I won't even
right.
comment. But I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But perhaps I'm sounding more and more like my father every day.
That's it. This is what happens to us.
He
Right?
was a great, brilliant man, but I know I've told you the story. I can't wait to speak to these folks about the veteran stuff.
Yeah. Well,
I told you,
you're going to have him in a few minutes.
He was Frogman, underwater
Yeah,
demolition, World War II, which...
Lawrence, I got to ask, is this a must game for the Giants tonight?
Oh, forget, that's what me and Don were talking about.
Is this a must game for the Giants? I think it is.
You know,
it's a
if
little
they do
statement
lose
game.
everything, I don't know. I'm so upset with Gettleman and Daniel Jones and the way
I know.
the direction of the management has steered this team. This never would have happened under Wellington.
I know.
You know, as bad as Jerry Reese was as a general manager,
Yeah.
I mean, at least we won a Super Bowl in between. And,
Right.
I mean, this guy, I'm telling you.
Gettleman is...
That's what I'm all into reading the post about.
Yeah.
Besides other things like
Yeah.
AOC's stupid dress she wore the other day.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
And
That's
it's
rich.
really
Well,
good
she makes
that
like
she
$200
has...
grand a year, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so that's
really
pretty-
good to see that she had the courage to stand up to have that dress. However, the ticket cost $35,000.
Right, and that was she's like, and that was donated to me. So you get a ticket donated to you, and then
Donated-
you go to this event.
donated by whom?
And most of the people there are rich, right?
Donated by whom? If
Is that what you're saying?
she, I don't. There must be some ethics.
Aurora- she
it's-
went with that
Even
Aurora
for people in Congress, there must be some ethics that say you're not supposed to be taking gifts.
Right.
From when I was DA, you could not accept.
I couldn't even buy
or
you
a
a beer.
judge, you can't accept anything more than $100. Is 35,000 more than 100?
I think it is.
Last I knew, except if you're in Uganda.
I've never been to Uganda, but I'll take your word for it.
I can't imagine how much I've missed you guys. I really have.
Listen, not to cut this segment short, but your buddies out
Yeah,
there, your next
yeah.
guys, they want to set up with their little
Let's
camera spiel and all that.
Yeah,
so
take a little
why don't
early
we
break.
Go to break a little early. I'll add a few extra commercials on there.
Great,
and then,
thank you.
We could come back with your guests.
Sounds good, thanks.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the First Savings Bank in Ulster County that still remains local to this day. Ulster Savings Bank, a community bank that's invested in local business, invested in community, invested in you. Ulster Savings Bank, your one-stop resource for everything local. Locations throughout the Hudson Valley and online at ulstersavings.com. Member FDIC.
Okay.
Are you gonna
All right, folks, we're on. Okay, we're live. This is live and in living color, and this is Thunder Thursday, and we are here, and you are there.
Is this your first time on with Tony?
This is my first time.
Well, we met yesterday, though, at the chamber.
I understand that. I heard
Yeah,
about
so-
the linking handshake, whatever that was. But we'll stay off
Talk
air.
about that.
Now
Okay.
the listening audience wants
So,
to know.
Right. The cat's out of the bag. The cat, more than the cat, it's the whole kennel is out of the
Not your
bag.
normal calm self today. It's good seeing you like this.
You
know?
like it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little
But
off the
that
hook
Thunder
today for some
Thursday, I
reason.
was beginning to say, it takes a while to get used to that Thunder Thursday. And I still, even to this date, after how many months? I have no idea
yeah,
what
I don't
that's
know.
supposed to mean.
Yeah, I don't either.
But it sounds good. It's a good introduction.
It's thunder, Judge. It's
I
thunder.
got that part. I did.
All right, this is Tony Marmo, and you are?
Don Williams.
Right. And we are with Kevin Keaveny and Jessica. Do you go use your middle?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
Jessica Bugbee, then. Because we had the Marie, but we're not going to use it.
All right.
Okay.
Don't use it.
So, two great folks from the Hudson Valley Veteran Integration. Is that correct? National Center? No.
National Center for Veteran Integration.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. I was close.
By that much.
By that much. It was because there was a hyphen in there. So you two have a great story to tell. Kevin, you've been on before.
Yes.
I want to say maybe with Richard Catabiani. Is that correct? One of our
coaches.
coaches.
That was the second time I was on.
Right.
Richard, great guy, part of our organization.
Right. Yeah. You got
He's
some.
He's into a little bit of everything. That guy.
He is. He's amazing. You have some great people involved with you, one of which is my good friend John Mallon over there, veteran himself. So he is a force of nature. He just keeps going.
John, I apologize. I didn't recognize you with the mask.
Yeah.
I remember you well.
So before you get into this story of the film that you're involved in and the Great Hudson River, let's start with Jessica. Just give us a little background on who you are, where you grew up. Give us a little snapshot of Jessica.
Yeah, sure. Well, it all began. No, I'm just kidding. Sure. So I grew up in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City, and I joined the Army in 2005.
Okay.
I didn't come from a military background. My grandfathers were in, served. Actually, my step-grandfather served in the Army Air Corps, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He was commissioned as a pilot. I think that's, pretty neat.
Yeah.
I went into the Army as a combat medic. I was in the 82nd Airborne, and
Does that mean you had to jump out of airplanes?
I did, and I loved it. Yeah, it was wonderful.
82nd Band of Brothers is centered on the 82nd. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
What a great series that is. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it is a great series, and I watched that, binge watched that, and Iraq. People think that it's like, what do you do during your days? I actually wrote about that in Warrior Writers with Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Richard, he talks about Warrior Writers, right? So
Yeah.
we had to write about on Tuesday our funniest or grossest experience. And I wrote about the space in between when we're, at war and in the military.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do during those mundane times? And
Right.
I wrote about just, the space in between. Anyways.
Cool. All right. So medic. So did you have a medical thought before you went into the military? Were you?
Yeah, I thought that I
involved,
wanted
EMT.
Actually, I was a volunteer firefighter.
Okay, great.
Before I joined the military, I went to NC State for a few years. I actually applied to the Air Force and Naval Academy and studied chemistry at NC State. I was in the Navy ROTC, and then I left early and joined the Army. Thought I wanted to go to med school, and so I thought, I'll get some experience, and that I did get a lot of world experience. experience. And so we were on a QRF team, my brigade. We spearheaded the surge with President George Bush, and so we had 7 days to deploy.
What's a QRF team?
A quick reaction force. So we had 7 days on the day after Christmas. We were told we're going to leave on New Year's Eve, and so we did that. So we, quickly got everything together, and we were on a plane within 7 days, and we were there for 15 months in Sauder City. And so 15 months there, and then came back, and then
Is it as bad? Is it as bad as what we read, what we believe, being in a place like Iraq in the military?
I guess I'd have to hear what your perception truly is, to be honest with you.
This is not a 4-hour radio show.
Sorry,
yeah. But you know what?
A lot of the place smells like poop. That's
yeah, there you go,
Well,
Judge.
it's not just that. Every day you're exposing your life. It's just frightening. Anyway, I'm sorry.
But I would have to say that this is really a great time to bridge that gap between you and me, what's going on with Afghanistan and the town hall that Congressman Delgado had. Again, this isn't, the time for that. But
another radio show, that's a good one. That would be a good one. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, and you served for how long?
7 years active duty. I went to the 10th Mountain afterwards and spearheaded the surge with President Obama into Afghanistan, and there I was.
You skied too?
Yeah, I did. That was a beautiful country, and I had some really wonderful experiences.
Great.
Yep, I was. I ended my career as a staff sergeant, and I deployed basically with field artillery units both times, and
very distinguished career.
Yeah.
And you're doing now?
Now I'm working.
Ulster County. It's easy for me to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
As corny, Judge.
Some of the guys I hang out with are quite corny, so I mean.
This is not my day,
that
Judge.
handshake.
This is not my day.
Enjoying every second.
I know. So doing now?
So I'm working with the center, with the Vet to Vet program right now, and we're launching the wellness program that I'll head up. Yep. I do a couple different other things that I'm working with other nonprofits as well. But it's, I met Gavin and Kevin, and they just have this unstoppable charisma and passion for the mission of, really continuing to serve the community and to just the tools that they have acquired and, to just continue to, help other military members. I drive from West Point, and so that should just show you like what they have is. I finally found my tribe.
Good, great. Let's talk to one of the other tribe members.
Yeah, let's do it.
Kevin. that was right. We could go down that
path. We were in the Vietnam
era,
era, so we do the hippy-dippy stuff.
So,
that's right.
Kevin, your background. You grew up where?
Staten Island.
Oh, yeah, right. We've had this. Right, we've had this discussion. Right.
Forgotten borough, but the only good borough.
Yeah,
right?
love that.
I don't get an accent. Is that a Staten Island accent?
It's in New York.
All over the place.
Now it's coming out.
Let him
no.
talk a little bit. Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, raise my hackles on that one.
Yeah, right.
Staten Island?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, so born and raised in Staten Island. I have lived all over. I started, in the Guard. 9/11 happened, one of the first responders.
How old were you then, Kevin?
Well, you're putting them on a spot there.
Younger than I was. Today,
9/11.
He had hair then.
Judge Williams. That was.
I'd say roughly about 20 years younger.
About 20 years younger.
Yeah.
So obviously that pretty changed my life. Changed my perspective.
And what branch did you serve?
That was the Army.
In the Army. Okay.
We went.
Okay.
Were you in the Army at the time, or did you join?
National Guard.
Oh, okay.
National Guard.
Okay. All right. And how long did
so I got out for a while. I get sick from all the crap that we're breathing in down there.
Right.
But recovered. Deployed 2009, 2010 in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Mostly in northeastern parts of the country.
That's bordering on Pakistan, northeast? Okay.
Yeah, came home like many other vets. Was a struggling vet. And,
Trying to figure out what to do, where to go. Where's your place, huh?
Son of a gun. I met some great folks at Ulster County Community College. They at the time they had an excellent veteran counseling system, and they worked with me. You know, they took me and worked with me. You know, a lot of peer stuff then. You know, peer. Didn't know it then, but that was kind of what we were starting to gear up to, and. So I had to build a kayak, or boats, right? So I saw boat building. And
You're a boat builder. How cool is that?
I'm not. That's the ironic thing. I am not a boat builder.
What you should lie about it, for God's sake.
That's the guy who likes building stuff, right? But yeah, so we met. We tried to figure out what direction to go in because it was miserable to play with everything. And so I love working with veterans, love working with my hands. So I switched from. I was in the IT field before. Left that field and Ulster County Human Services. So I switched to the Human Services degree. That was it. I mean, I could talk forever about this. I know I'm trying to be.
Yeah, that's okay. You're doing good.
Sure.
You're doing great.
Yeah. So I went to a bunch of different schools. Assembled excellent team with a bunch of dedicated individuals. And
So just give folks the idea of how you started the Hudson Valley and why you started the Hudson Valley National Center for Veteran Reintegration.
So like I said, when I got back, 2010, 2000, I was struggling. I was having a really hard time. And blue collar guy, my education thing was starting to later in life. And I knew I had to do something. I just because I was in trouble. I was in trouble. Someone was going to hurt me. I was going to hurt somebody. And so I bought a set of boat plans. Go figure how how these things equate, right?
Set of boat plans.
I have boat plans. I got to do.
It was like a Lego set.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
A Lego set for an adult.
And so that's what I did. But I noticed that when I was building the boat,
buy a set of boat plans.
Calmness came over you.
Brought me into a good place, right? Occupational therapy, all this kind
of
stuff. I put that in the bank. Life moved on. I tried going back to work. I probably had like 6, 7 different jobs from that time until I decided to start this. Started seeing counseling, therapy, all the stuff that is critical to help a veteran community. So anyway, so from there, from building a boat in the backyard, we went to a great guy, Andrew Rothlein from the Wyandotte Yacht Basin.
Okay.
We approached him. Hey, I think we've got a program that's going to work to help our veterans. Didn't even let me finish my sentence. He was like, "Come on, let's go bring it in."
How great is that?
That's where
it started.
Workshop
great.
Actually started in Andrews Marine.
That is great.
And then it stuck, right? So it's the thing. You throw something against the wall,
right.
See if it sticks. If it sticks, keep going.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. It stuck, and we kept going. And the center evolved from there, because everybody wants to build a kayak, and everybody wants to be a warrior rider, everyone wants to do yoga.
Right.
Come on.
Stuff. So we took that.
We may want to do yoga.
Yeah.
Our body doesn't necessarily allow it.
Because if you support a program, I've got to do it.
Right.
So
you jumped in.
I did chair yoga.
Do you teach it or lead it?
Yes, I do.
My God, it's so hard.
Great.
My late wife did it, tried to get me to do it.
Right, you couldn't. Just not flexible enough, Judge?
Not flexible enough, balance. It's much more difficult than it looks.
Yeah.
It's just.
And I used to be an athlete some 90 years ago.
You were quite the point guard back in the day.
Yeah, but we didn't do yoga. Anyway, go ahead.
So
a great team. I mean, just it grew. As we use the same. It's peer-based program. It's everything we do is based around folks who have been through some stuff, and that are veterans can associate themselves with.
Okay.
The people that give the counseling are the people that have had experience in.
Oh, well, that's essential. That's what peer.
I'm going to say I don't want somebody that hasn't gone through what I've been
in your
through.
moccasins, man.
And that's what is proven that really truly works. I mean,
It's great sense.
Yeah, exactly. Talk therapy and going into a psychologist is absolutely necessary at times, right? Like pharmaceutical drugs, are necessary at times, but what actually brings in that veteran that's sitting at home that's really struggling, it's going out and being with the person that's experienced what you have experienced and not necessarily getting into the weeds of what is ailing them in that moment, but just being with them, going for a walk, you know, going out on the kayak or, you know, building or, you know, sitting there and, you know, writing or, you know, doing whatever it is.
And
that we
I
do.
would imagine that, I would imagine that for soldiers who are tough or strong and have to be, you would be reluctant to go to a therapist, an analyst, a counselor.
Mhm.
You'd be more likely to do it if that person has gone through that experience. I'm guessing that's the case.
The essence of it, yeah.
Right.
So we're there, it's goofy, we use the positive aspects of the military. We've got that, and sometimes they just want to start talking as soon as they're there, but they're not talking about the right things. They're just talking, you know.
Right. Fill the air.
people that have
Right,
voice.
fill the air, right.
The other vets where they just go right to a corner, you know, where it's built loyal with average, but they're there, they want to be there, then they'll let you
There's
know
structure to
that
it,
they
yeah.
want to be there. And that's where we pick up, because we've got little peers, all different backgrounds, lives, you know, they're different lifestyles that
Just kind of come together,
yeah,
right?
we just kind of, you know, we work very well with that.
So we're here with Kevin Keaveny and Jessica Bugbee from the Hudson Valley National Center for Veteran Integration. Let's talk about Here is Better. Here is Better.
What a movie! I finally got to see it last night. It is definitely something that, you know, that we do our veterans.
Explain, Lucy. Tell the listeners what Here is Better is all about.
Well, we're gonna first want to defer to our
Okay.
to our local resident hippie here.
Okay. All right, great.
With the cool earrings, no less.
Yeah, thank you. These are from Bali.
From Bali, anyway.
Yes, from
Oh,
Indonesia.
don't get started. Here's better. Here's better.
Here's Better.
So, well, you know, the movie is about PTSD and how it directly affects military members, and not only military members, but their families, and secondary effects of PTSD. And I really appreciate that, and I guess I want to hone in on that for a moment, because military life is not just that service member. It is, you know, it's not a regular job, a 9-to-5 job. You know, you've heard those country songs. You can't just like call into work sick, right? It affects everyone involved. You know, so it's a lifestyle, and that's what we're about. You know, serving the entire family, the community. So I liked that it approached the family. It spoke to the wife. It spoke about, you know, the children, and the resiliency center that you know, it interviewed the VA system, the Trauma Resiliency Center, and really went into the women and how it affects them, signs and symptoms. And, you know, it's a lot. It shows you how in the day of just how debilitating it can be. And, you know, Kevin and I talked a little bit about our experiences, and even we watched it together. And to be quite honest with you, we didn't really want to watch it.
It's understandable, sure.
So, and that's the tough thing with PTSD. That's the tough thing with seeing it. It brings you back to places that you don't necessarily
Want to be there.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But with what we do with this, with the center, and with September, what is so important about this month?
Right.
Suicide
Oh, the,
awareness, right?
Right.
So this is key timing for a movie like this. Like I said, we watched it. It was powerful. This is something we don't normally do. But
who made the movie? Who made the movie?
So it was coming through the
Woodstock Film Festival. Right.
And
Right.
we're working with them to bring veterans to see it. Particularly, I mean, the movie's fantastic, but for us, it's that discussion after the movie. So, and the caliber of folks that it's Bill. Wait, I'm just bear with me.
Bill Fraley? No, Bill somebody.
I think it is Bill Fraley. Is the no?
Okay. So the film is.
So it's going to be shown. They're doing a special viewing for veterans on the 3rd of October.
At
I believe
11.
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
There's also
At the Orpheum Theater in
Saugerties.
Saugerties. right?
That's just for vets and their families,
Just for
correct?
veterans and their families. But-
How can the public get to see this? The general public?
Well, this
Because
is actually the world premiere, so that's
Right.
what's so cool
Understood.
about this with us,
Okay.
and that's- So
So the world premiere, though, is the day before.
is the day before.
Right.
Let's get
It's
back to
is
it.
Saturday, October 2nd at Bearsfield Theater.
And it just shows, so it's testament, and again, it's one of the reasons why we're so interested in working with these folks on it, is so, on that day, on that Saturday, they're providing, I believe it's 50 tickets to bring veterans in to actually watch the movie, and then to have a discussion about the movie afterwards.
Okay.
They have, some of the folks are actually in the movie, in the documentary.
Oh, great.
There. So, I mean, this is a great opportunity for our local veterans to participate, watch, and if they like, share their experiences.
How do people get tickets? How do the veterans get
So
tickets
what they
if
do
they're
is
interested?
they call us, 845-481-4004. It's
Okay.
845-481-4004. And
Website?
we will get those tickets for them.
How about
It's
website?
hvcvr.org.
HVC?
VR.org.
VR.org.
Saying that fast, too.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so that's a big deal in terms of getting this film off the ground and getting, I think, Jessica, right, more the discussion that comes subsequent, right?
Yes.
So what are some thoughts about that? I mean, obviously, we're going to bring people together, going to watch the movie. What's the next step after that in your mind? What do you see if folks are interested? The veterans
Continue the discussion?
Yeah.
Well, that's where we engage them. I mean,
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. That's
Yeah.
engagement, and figure out what they need from that. And sometimes just discussion, sometimes they need more, and that's where we find out what that more is.
Well, what I really liked too about the movie is that I just said something, and I hope that it doesn't come off the wrong way to the filmmaker or also just anyone else listening, turn them off in the wrong way. When I said that, I really didn't want to watch, the film. I believe that anyone, military related or suffering from PTSD, which could be anybody.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So that's completely
and
understandable.
This is someone that has, I'm just now breaking through, talking about Afghanistan because I'm in a leadership position and
Right.
we're, taking a stance on, trying to bridge that gap and whatnot. But the film talks about different modalities, to use to work through the trauma and the PTSD, and it's amazing because it talks about how there's no one pill that's going to treat PTSD, right? Like depression or anxiety. That's just not a thing. It's treatment, right? It's all these different things that come together to really help with, being afraid of the dark, with night terrors, with anger, with agitation, with anxiety, with depression, with fear of, loud noises, just all of this culminating thing. There was a point where Captain Jason, I forgot his last name, but anyhow, he talked about being afraid to go to sleep, and I told Kevin I was so afraid to go to sleep when I was at Afghanistan. I was just having so much, and that's where I actually realized, that's where I started, with my own breath work. I didn't realize what I was doing, that's yoga,
breathing is important.
Yes, it's very important.
Proper breathing is important.
Yes.
Didn't you tell me? You told me that earlier.
One thing I could do with.
So you know what you do, yoga.
breathing.
Exactly. Come on down to our center.
There you go.
I would lay there in my little cot in my tent, and I would just hold myself. And I was afraid to go to sleep. I didn't know if I would wake up, and so I resonated with that. And so that's where we ought to be. That's what we need to continue to do, is talk about this so that we recognize that we're not alone, because that's what we're not doing. We're not talking about these things, and so we feel alone. We isolate. And then that's what happens. We isolate.
Gets worse from there.
Then the suicide ends up happening, right? Because we're not
Can't come to
relating
any
to people.
good spot, right?
Right.
So it's worth the watch.
How long is the movie?
An hour and 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a full-length feature movie. I mean, that's... oh.
It actually ran pretty smooth. I mean, it was smooth.
Yeah.
When will it be available to the public? I think it's so important.
The public, I know the world premiere for us is October
Second and third.
Second and third.
Second, right.
Is the
It's the 30th, the 2nd, and the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's 3 days.
I really think, first of all, what can we do? What can you do? What can we do to get more vets to go? Because that has to be probably one of the most difficult things, is taking that first step.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly that. Veterans are, and not all veterans,
Sure.
Just certain veterans don't want to talk, don't want to share, don't want to get involved with something like this because they know it's going to
Resurrect
bring up
issues.
some
Right.
tough stuff. But the biggest thing today that we should share with the vets is, show up, because there's going to be a bunch of us there, and it's okay to have those feelings. We're here for you.
And maybe also, any mental health, behavioral health personnel that would potentially offer their services just to be on standby. I think that would be a lovely offering to be
Especially
there.
those that have experienced it.
Yes, yes.
Professionals who were involved in the making of the film. There'll be mental health professionals associated with our organization.
So a lot of people
So there'll be
involved.
plenty of support, but most importantly, there's going to be veterans there.
Gotcha. So it's going to be 10:30 on Sunday, 10:30 a.m., Sunday, October 3rd at the Orpheum Theater in Saugerties. That's where the veterans can view that.
Specific viewing just for them.
Just of the vets.
Well, it's 11:30.
Oh, it's 11:30.
Sunday,
Okay.
yes,
Let's
sorry.
Let's not do 10:30 then. Let's do 11:30.
Well, we make
If you
sure-
show up at 10:30 or 11,
You want me on time,
don't
you
walk
have
in.
to-
Right, exactly. Give the contact information again for the Hudson Valley National Center for Veteran.
Again, so the contact information, phone number is 845-481-4004. Our website is hvcvr.org. And the one thing we're disappointed about is that we're actually going to miss all of this. We're going to be paddling down the Hudson River.
Oh, okay.
Well, there is some benefit to that, too. so.
It's going to be cold that time of year.
In October, better not be.
It may still be
We have
decent.
our
The
Italian
water
festival,
temperatures may
right?
be
We have
a
our
little
Italian
bit.
festival on October 10th. We expect some nice weather. And so,
Yeah, the Garlic Festival, right?
no, not, well.
Oh.
Well, garlic can be
There's-
associated with the Italians.
But the Garlic Festival, I think, is maybe around
The
that
week
time.
before yours.
Week before.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's in
Second and
Saugerties.
third, yeah. We're down at the,
That's what
we're at the Strand down.
Never,
in,
I can't believe it.
right near
Former
the
DA,
Maritime
former
Museum,
judge,
right-
and
right,
Oh,
near-
yeah.
right
never
near
been
your
to it.
buddies. Yeah, right.
And I've been to that festival.
Yeah, it's a good festival. It's a good. We had a good time. Some good music. So, final words, Kevin Keaveny and Jessica Bugbee. Any thoughts for folks out there?
It's
A couple of
been-
minutes.
It's the Hudson Valley has experienced some tragic losses over the last few months in the veteran community. Testament to the quality of leadership that we do have in the county. Our elected officials
Yeah.
have really
Pat Ryan.
gone full out to support us.
Right.
The county executive Pat Ryan,
Yep.
Congressman Delgado, they just lit it all out.
Congressman
Is
Delgado.
he former
that's-
military, Delgado?
No, he's not.
No, okay.
So,
We know
yeah,
county
strong-
executive is.
He is, some Suicide Prevention Month.
Yeah.
Strong team here, the Veteran Service Agency across the center.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Okay. Yep.
Reach out.
Absolutely.
We've experienced enough loss.
Yep.
Reach out to us, please.
Jess, any final thoughts from you?
Well, the film, just again, watch this film come out, it really tells the story of, these men and women overcoming PTSD, and, the filmmakers did a great job, and we're just happy to be a part of the Woodstock Film Festival and these producers.
Great.
So, yeah, thank you
Thank
for
you
having
for
us so
coming in
much.
today.
Thanks
Good
for
luck.
having us.
Good luck with the organization. I know we'll see you again down the road somewhere, whether it's Richard Catabiani, John Mallon, Ann Marat. You got a cast of characters that are in
Can
your
you believe that?
in
You
your
look
corner.
at this guy, and I see the quality of folks. That
Right,
are
some mook from Staten Island. Some mook from Staten Island. Come on, are you kidding me?
Very fortunate. Very fortunate.
Thank you so much for the work you're doing. You're blessed, and you're trying to help others, and that's what we need to do in life. We need to help each other get through it, whatever that it is for folks.
Right.
All right. God bless you both.
Thank you for
Take care.
what
Lawrence,
you've
take it
done.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
There was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
This is the story of Daniel, who was born 2 months early. His lungs weren't ready. His heart wasn't ready. His parents could only hope that one day he would leave the hospital healthy, and they would all live happily ever after. Daniel's is just one of the more than 500,000 stories of babies born prematurely last year. You can help the March of Dimes stop premature birth and bring more babies home healthy. Learn how at marchofdimes.com. Working together for stronger, healthier babies.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
All right, folks, we're back on. This is Thunder Thursday, and Judge Williams is out there somewhere, kibitzing. So hopefully we can get him back in here.
Your guest is on the line, but we should just do birthdays real quick. Do we have a couple in there? Or?
We do have a couple of birthdays. Please wish Amanda Sager the happiest of birthdays on Thursday, September 16th. Happy birthday, Jeff Spurl from Family and Friends. And the winner of the delicious cow pie from Boy's Dairy Milk House at 62 on Hill Street is, that would be Jeff Spurl.
Jeff Spurl is a familiar name.
Jeff.
Congratulations, Jeff. I just had a
big day.
Just had a cow pie a couple of nights ago.
You did? Wow.
Almost
By
ate the
yourself?
entire thing. No.
Okay,
I
good.
was at a birthday party for a friend.
Because I would say forget yoga. I mean, I
did almost eat the entire.
All right, I think we have our guest on the line. Great friend and a great guy, and that would be Steve Kelley from the President and CEO of Ellenville Regional Hospital. Correct, Steve? How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Doing
Steve.
well. Morning.
What's going on, man?
Well, we have a lot going on.
A lot, right? A lot going on.
Yeah, we think like it should maybe get easier, but it doesn't seem to. We have another, kind of another wave of COVID arriving. We have we have all kinds of challenges that all organizations have with having enough staffing. We're doing pretty well, but it's always something we're working on. It's, that's always a challenge. I'd like to complain, but really, we're doing pretty good.
There's a lot to complain about, but you're the kind of guy that finds, the positives and how to deal with the issues of the day. It doesn't matter what year we're in. Certainly the last 18 months, couple of years have been very challenging, for sure. And so, tell us about what Ellenville Regional has been doing to address some of these challenges, in the community with your staff. What are you doing? How are you trying to cope with the issues
one
of the
day? Things that we've been responding to, obviously, is the COVID pandemic.
Right.
And that, in the first wave, really hit New York metro area and did not hit the Hudson Valley very much. It didn't hit us at all, except kind of in the wallet, because the state decided that we would have to close all our elective services, which is about 75% of our revenue. So that's kind of a downer there. And then what we discovered was that a lot of the folks had been hospitalized and had ended up in the ICU on ventilators, and the folks that survived the ventilators were very, very debilitated.
Right.
So we figured that we would develop a program for rehabbing post-COVID survivors, and that's what we did. So we ended up doing pretty well because the folks that survived, when they survived the ventilator, they were very, very debilitated. They couldn't feed themselves, they can't walk, they can't sit up. Basically, they've been asleep for 2 or 3 weeks and completely atrophied away. So doing that, we ended up getting quite a lot of business from that, and still do. So that has been a kind of a new line of work for us, a new specialty. And then last year, at the end of the summer, the federal government had some CARES money for rural hospitals, and they decided the best way to allocate that was based on the number of COVID patients. And so in our case, we had a fairly substantial number of COVID patients compared to our brethren in other parts of rural America, and it turned into $2.9 million that we ended up building a new ER with. So we have brand new ER, emergency department that is, and it's got all of the bells and whistles, including the isolation rooms that are really, really helpful for addressing the COVID pandemic. So we've kind of taken the lemons and squeezed them and made the most of a really pretty tough couple of years. We've done pretty well, actually.
Yeah, that's great. Steve, you mentioned the staffing shortage or crisis that's going on, not only certainly in Ellenville, but all over the county, all over the state, all over the nation. What are your thoughts about where all the folks are? Healthcare, I think, is maybe a little bit more explainable because it is a pretty high risk profession.
Sure.
Right?
Yes, it is a pretty high risk profession. I think a lot of young folks that have been considering healthcare careers for the last 2 years have been thinking about other careers because of the danger. But I would say that there are a lot of people who are interested in danger. That's why we have a lot of first responders and police officers and people, firefighters and there are people that run towards danger. There just aren't enough of them at the moment.
Right.
It's an industry problem. And we're actually much better off, I think, than most of our counterparts in the Hudson Valley, because we're at a fairly small venue and we have low turnover. But there's been a lot of turnover. A lot of people have left healthcare, and so we're at a point where there's just not enough healthcare workers of every type, everything from doctors and nurses and radiology techs and pharmacists. I mean, every discipline is struggling. So, I don't really want to complain. It's more talking about it on a generalized level, because we've actually done pretty well and are continuing to do well with staffing. It's a constant challenge. You think you're ahead, and then something happens, and then we have to find somebody new. And I believe in stability, so we really try hard not to have a lot of turnover. I think it's very expensive and then disruptive. And,
I take it,
so
Steve,
take
also
care of
that
people.
it's an additional burden on the staff you have there, because someone has to do the job, and I take it they're picking up extra hours to cover for the vacancies.
Yes. Yep.
Which
That's how
will
it works.
it'll create more turnover. It's sad. It's a cycle.
Well, that is true. In the current environment, there's no place that you can go where it will be better, though. That's the reality of it.
Yeah,
We're fortunate not to have a lot of turnover, but when we do have it, it is very difficult to fill positions.
Do you think it's any different than what is out in other occupations? Is it more condensed, more aggravated in healthcare?
Well, I think that we've seen it across. I mean, everyone that I talk to in every industry and line of business, the one common theme that everybody is concerned about is the inability to get quality staff and to retain them. The really good ones are pretty mobile right now. They can go wherever they want, and there's a lot of competition for that staff, from people working in restaurants. Really, in every industry, it is just an unusual situation. We hear about how bad it is out there for people, but I find it hard to believe that anyone who wants to work isn't able to find work now, because there's just industry seems
with the unemployment checks,
every industry screaming for help.
With unemployment running out now, you would think that there'd be a greater motivation for people to seek employment, but apparently it's not happening like we all anticipated it would happen. And it's tough. It's difficult when you have been sleeping in and not doing the grind of 9 to 5 days a week, suddenly to go back. That's got to be a hard bridge to cross. But
well, I think people are starting to cross. We're noticing an uptick in applications from folks that apparently have been out of work for some time. So I do think that people are entering the workforce. It's just we've been starved for quite a while, and so that's a challenge.
It'll take time to catch back up, but
yes,
at least you're turning the corner.
Steve, what are you hearing on the national scene, if anything, about the smaller hospitals and how they're being looked at, dealt with? Critical access hospitals, I think, is the term, correct?
Yes.
Which Ellenville is one of those.
What exactly does it, for people that are out of the industry, Steve, what is a critical access hospital?
All right, so Critical Access Hospital is a federal program that was designed to help rural hospitals maintain access to health care for their communities, which means stay in business, basically. Or as the industry has changed and healthcare has changed, the economics of healthcare made it very difficult for small hospitals to be viable. And, I remember when I worked at Kingston Hospital with Tony, we took over a hospital that was exactly like that out in Delaware County.
Yes, I recall.
And that was a struggle for us to turn that around, even with, I think, more expertise and resources. It still was a struggle to find a way. And we were able to convert that to the critical access status, which generates more revenue because Medicare pays you a little bit more. In fact, they pay you 101% of your allowable costs, which are not all the costs, but that helps. It helps a great deal, and it makes the hospital go from a negative financial position to at least breaking even, 1% margin, so it's slightly profitable. And that's what we did in Ellenville. We converted to critical access, and that took us from being in a non-financially viable position to being financially viable. And then after that, we have leveraged all of the benefits that program has, and have been able to be pretty successful in rebuilding the hospital and regaining the confidence of our community, and really having national level quality and really great outcomes, and being able to do a lot of things that a lot of larger hospitals struggle with, because we're able to move quickly and figure out what works and stop doing things that don't work. Sort of like the story I told about converting to a new market to be able to deal with people who are COVID survivors, and now even on an outpatient basis, quite a bit long haulers. Those are folks that have had COVID and just can't seem to recover.
And Steve,
that's the kind of programs that we're doing.
There really is something to say about the treatment that you receive in smaller hospitals. I'm going down to Sloan and New York Presbyterian, and they're wonderful hospitals, but there is a feeling of an assembly line. You're a number, and you don't get that in the more local hospitals. Now, Ellenville, is it a standalone? Are you affiliated with Westchester like Kingston and Benedictine is, or how exactly do you survive if you don't have that relationship?
Well, that's a good question, Don.
I've stumbled upon finally a good question.
We used to be part of the Westchester system, just like the hospitals in Kingston are today.
Okay.
But we fired the owners and took it independent, and so we don't have any safety net. But I would say we have nobody holding us back either.
No, that's such a good point.
We can respond quickly to tactical issues like being able to address COVID that other folks aren't really able to think of things like that because they're locked in a paradigm of what the parent wants.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Feeding the parents. So we're feeding ourselves and being responsive to what our community needs are. And that sometimes is lost in these large health networks where there is, this is controlled by Westchester, which is a fine organization, and they're certainly doing what's best for their organization, but that means feeding the mothership and consolidating services, and that makes sense. If you're a business person, you want to consolidate, be more efficient, effective, and all of that. But it means that sometimes you consolidate services in one hospital instead of another, so the breadth of services is reduced. And that's sort of what happened here in Ulster County.
Steve, talk about the work you've done in the substance abuse area. I think that's,
I was very impressed with critical. The last time we had Steve on.
I mean, it's important to talk about that again. I think that's really a key service for the community.
Okay, yes. Well, thank you for bringing that up. We have, before COVID, we had our largest public health crisis was the opioid epidemic. And that has been kind of masked because everybody, COVID is sort of taking all the air out of the room, and that's all we can think about is COVID this and COVID that. But at the same time, 70,000 Americans die from overdoses every year. And yes, it's not 500,000, but it's been every year for quite a while.
Yeah, it's a big number.
Nobody that I know doesn't know somebody who isn't here anymore as the result of that epidemic.
Correct.
So we've been working on that for about 7 years or 8 years, and we reduced the opioid administration in our emergency department by about 95% because the way that people get onto opioids, become addicted, in many cases are from overprescription of narcotics. And so the source of the problem for a long time has been in healthcare. Changed our ordering patterns and are not part of that problem anymore. And a lot of other folks have really adopted similar protocols. So I think that over time, I feel if we can stop the growth of it and then maintain people till they can come around to accepting treatment and not be addicted anymore. I mean, they will probably still be addicted, but they will be able to maintain that with products like Suboxone, which are designed to maintain the craving, so the person doesn't go into withdrawal, but they don't get high either, so they can go back to work, they can repair their relationships. We've done a lot of work in this space. All of our ER providers are waivered to induce people with Suboxone, and we have many providers that we then channel people to, like the Institute for Family Health, Step One, Catholic Charities. We have many partners to help with the longitudinal recovery, and we've really had a lot of success with that. In fact, in 2019, our work was significant in changing the number of deaths in Ulster County, and it was reduced
amazing.
by 41%.
I'm sorry, what was the reduction, Steve?
Yes, it was a reduction of 41%.
41% is significant.
Yeah, that's great.
That is really huge. Saved a lot of lives. I have to say, regrettably, that with COVID taking over and distracting everyone from that the death rate went back up in 2020.
Yeah, it's still an
so
issue.
The problem's still there.
But good for you, and your team for being proactive about this and trying to be part of the solution to this instead of just. It's easy for hospitals just to sit back and accept whatever patients they get, and I don't know of any other hospital that's been proactive like you all have been down in Ellenville in this area. I mean, it's remarkable, really, and congratulations to you and your staff for being so upfront and out there about this.
And now that we're complimenting you.
Here comes Judge Williams.
No. It's not the typical cross-examination. I believe I read somewhere, Steve, that you personally and the Ellenville Community Hospital won some type of a grassroots award. Is that?
Oh, yeah.
Did I read that? Oh, no, don't say, oh, yeah. Now, don't come on with the false modesty. What is that about? I think it came out sometime in June.
Oh, did it? I was not aware. What is it,
this
Steve?
year?
All right. I'm almost embarrassed to talk about this.
What?
I can see the blushing over the radio signals.
That award is for the person for each state who did the most to advocate for health care at the federal level.
Wow.
And I was the recipient of that out of all the.
So this is a personal award.
Hospital executives. That's a personal award.
That's why he's a little.
Well, humility is nice, but unfortunately, people just do not know that these things occur. Here we have a person here in Ulster County at Ellenville that received this reward.
National award.
And what exactly is what does it mean, grassroots? Is it the smaller hospitals? Is it what exactly?
No, it's all hospitals. It's out of all the hospitals in New York and all the people that work in them. Who is the single person that was felt to have contributed the most at the national level for changing healthcare.
See that?
And
that
so
is
so this year I'm that person for New York.
That
and
is
so each state gets to have one.
That is absolutely amazing. It is. And I'm Steve.
Where did you see it? Where did you see it, Don?
Tony Marmo is a dear friend, very bright, as you know. I'm embarrassed for Tony that this former murder presiding judge knew about your grassroots award.
Yeah.
And an individual that is well versed in
but you're
hospitals.
much more in tune and well read than I am. I get my news, I don't know, from Lawrence.
I don't want to Steve.
You don't want your news from me. Okay.
I love misleading Tony. I don't want to mislead you. At about 5:30 this morning, I got up and I remember I was really impressed the last time we had you on because you talked about opioids, you talked about Suboxone, and I was not a fan of Suboxone. Not that I take it, but on the bench I had issues with it, and you definitely convinced me. So this morning at 5:30, I said something recent has had to occur. So I used that new verb in our vocabulary. Googled. I Googled it.
Yeah.
And this came out, and I said, whoa, that is very impressive. So congratulations, and obviously richly deserved. You not only...
that's not one of those things that you go out and try to achieve. It's something that
exactly
was very generously bestowed on me that I think must be a lot of people who did a lot more. But I'm very grateful that they chose to recognize me and for the work I've done, really on the behest of hospitals and healthcare at the national level. I've lobbied. I've talked to our elected officials. I've advocated, and we've been able to have some things happen that were quite significant regarding rural hospitals across the country.
That's
so
great.
I think.
Well, Steve, the thing that...
congratulations.
Congratulations. And what's so impressive about it is selfless people. This is not something he applied for. This is something he was recognized for. And selfless people, everyone thinks that if you're selfless, you work hard and you give up, that you don't need the occasional pat on the back. No, that's needed. And I'm really happy for you and proud that you're a member of this community, that you got this award. It's
this is my partner Don Williams, who does, this is in his blood. He does research, he does background, he comes prepared to the radio show, and thank you. That's and I've known
Tony.
Steve for a long time, and I'm embarrassed now that I didn't know that this happened, Steve. So, congratulations, and thanks to my partner here, Don, for pointing that out.
I'm so glad I never was in front of Judge Williams.
I have
that kind of research would be very painful, I'm sure.
That was as you mentioned, common thread. That's a common thread of every lawyer in Ulster County.
Yes. Oh,
it was affectionately in the legal profession, they called it a hot bench. Now, that does not mean that I had a terrible temper, which occasionally I did, but it just means that you do the work.
You don't piss them off. That's what that's all about.
Well, that's okay.
Steve, what are you doing for recreation these days? I know you used to do a lot of hiking, and you're still in fantastic shape. I mean, the guy is, he skis like a bandit down the hill.
That's incredible. Do you kayak? Because we met a kayak builder.
Yeah.
This morning. That's a vet from Afghanistan. What do you kayak? Steve?
I don't kayak. No,
it's too passive.
I have a lot of things I don't do. I don't play golf. Of course, a lot of people don't play golf.
Right.
It's so
or
takes
play
so
golf
long.
well. There's more people that don't play golf well.
I don't do that. I like to. I'm a hunter, sportsman. I like to hunt in the fall. And in fact, tomorrow I'm going boar hunting. That's something I've never done.
Boar, as in wild pig?
B-O-R.
B-O-A-R? Do we have a lot of wild boar? Pennsylvania. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, but that's pretty dangerous stuff, is it not? Is it not wild boar that have those obnoxious sharp tusks, and they're not reluctant to charge? That's
listen, we all get our rush from one thing or another. I like ski. I skied with Tony. Maybe not as accomplished as him, but
Steve
may not look as good, but I get down the hill every day.
Back on the bore point for a second, Steve. You are aware of the fact that Cespedes, the individual that signed a $25 million contract for the Mets, ended up losing the contract and losing his career in trying to get a wild boar out of a trap that he caught down in Florida. So please be careful.
Wow.
That's true.
Well,
you talk about the vast resource of useless information.
What part of Florida was that in?
Because she had a lot of doubts about me doing this, but it's one of the things I've wanted to do for a long time.
Shouldn't be going boar hunting.
Follow the missus' directives.
Yeah. He tries.
Yeah.
We have about
she
30
tells me something about trust your wife's judgment. Look who she married.
You know something, and I did that until tragically my wife passed back in 2016 from leukemia. And I trusted her judgment. It did me well. Since 2016, I'm on a downward spiral, Steve. So trust her.
Slippery slope. All right, Steve Kelley, CEO, Ellenville Hospital, thank you so much for being on. We'll see you next month. I think we have you on the schedule now, and now I know I'll be doing some research in advance of your next appearance, but or at least calling you. Thank you so much for being on. Thank you for the great job you're doing down in Ellenville. You're a great person, a great leader, and you are very humble and modest. So thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you, Steve.
I learned a lot when I worked with you, Tony. I learned a lot.
Modesty probably wasn't one of those, though.
Last week on a closing note, last week was my anniversary, 18 years in Ellenville.
Wow, I can't believe it. And I can remember when it started. Absolutely remember.
Great.
Put me in,
long
Coach.
time ago, but-
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
See you,
Simon.
man.
I
Be well.
appreciate
God bless.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
To battle is to fight, to struggle, to overcome, and ultimately for the Marine Corps, it means to win. There is no alternative. It's not just a statement of intent. It's a promise to our nation. A promise kept for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
We're back. Thank you, Lawrence. Mr. Marmo has stepped out for an occasion. He's back now. I'm not going to say what Tony told the
This is Thunder Thursday.
Oh, God bless you, Tony. My eyes pop out every time you do that. Do the introductions.
Oh, yeah. Well, so we're happy to have Stacey Warr
Warr.
Warr. I knew that. My lips are just not working today. I've tried to say other words today, and they just haven't worked. And Lisa Broughton from Ulster Federal Credit Union. So welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Good morning.
How's it going? Good morning.
Pretty good.
Was a good time yesterday at the Diamond Mills, right?
It was. It's really,
Ulster.
it's nice to see that stuff happening again.
Right.
The breakfasts starting up and...
Ulster Chamber Business Expo, I think they call it. Used to be called the Business to Business Showcase, right?
Yeah.
B2B. Yeah, it was a pretty filled room, I think. Maybe not as big as, back in the heyday, but yeah, it was a good time. So tell us your position, Stacey, is?
Chief Operations Officer.
Yay, which means you do all the work and CEOs just kind of take the credit.
Yeah, just hangs out.
And he's not here.
Correct. That's why we can say things like
And
that.
he's probably not listening, so
And
we
he's
can say
probably
whatever we want.
And Lisa, you are branch manager.
Correct.
Where?
At Ulster Avenue.
Ulster
but
Ave.
soon to be the Sorgerties branch as well. I'm going to
Oh.
be managing both.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. How do you do that? Like split it
I don't
yourself?
know yet. Well,
I don't know yet.
call me back here in a month and I'll tell you.
Monday, Wednesday,
Put a
Friday.
little more miles on your car, I imagine.
Well, I live in Sorgerties, so it's okay. At least
that
it's
one
not.
works well. Yeah. So where's the branch in Saugerties?
9W in
9W,
Simmons
okay.
Plaza, right in front of IXL.
Great. And how long have you been with Ulster Federal Credit Union?
27 years.
Holy cannoli.
27 years.
I'm not going to ask you, Stace, because I know you've been there for a while as well, right?
I have 25.
25, wow.
Yep.
That's a long time to be at one location.
It
That's
is.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Must be a great place to work.
It is. It is a great place to
I
work.
wasn't sure what you were
It's
gonna
very Neither was I, but that's okay. But it's very flexible and it's kind of low key, and like a lot of times with banks and maybe the bigger credit unions, I'm not sure, there's a lot of sales that has to happen, and you have to keep track of those and you get paid for them, and we don't do that. We focus more on the day-to-day and member
Explain, if you
service.
can. Explain. I read a lot of stuff, but very little about financial institutions. Sales of what? Sales of accounts?
Yes, you're trying to get people to open more accounts, trying to get them to take loans.
With the loans, obviously the bank obtains the interest, but the money that people are investing in the bank, either by savings accounts, you can invest that also. Is that how banks profit?
They do. So the credit union, we don't really do it that exact way, because when the money goes into the account, that's the member's money. They earn interest on that. We actually have money that we make from fees and things that comes in, and then that's what we use to invest.
Okay, great. That's reassuring.
Did you think it was a little scam or something?
No, I just that's the way banks or institutions.
Right. How does the
they,
business make money? Right. That's the
Why
basic
would
question.
someone want my money to go into the bank that I get interest on? I could never understand that, and I thought it was.
Well, and you do hear that. People say, well, for example, I don't want to do escrow because I'm giving them my money, and then they're going to make money on that. Why should they make money on my money?
Right.
Well, because it's secure.
Yeah.
And many other reasons. For some reason, all that cash that I had underneath the mattress didn't. And after the second burglary, I realized, trust me, there was not that much cash anyway.
Right.
The burglars were greatly dissatisfied, except for my wife's jewelry that they took. But anyway.
And now you have cryptocurrency.
No, I still don't understand. Neither do I have that
desire to understand. I guess you can make money on it.
Bitcoin, is that
Bitcoin, cryptocurrency?
It's a little scary. It's not real. It's not tangible. So
and there's no gold.
all of a sudden one day,
electronic, right? It's all electronic.
It is, and then all of a sudden one day, it's just gone. You don't have anything anymore.
That's kind of like my
works.
first venture into the stock market. Suddenly one day I didn't have anything anymore.
Yeah. We had a guest on last week who was talking about local Kingston currency called the Current. I don't know. We're going to try to have that person on.
Was that a gang member? That,
no. It's
a
legit deal. You buy it and then you spend it locally with businesses and
And
shops.
what is the
and-
benefit in buying it? Does it increase or?
No,
Here we're putting banks and
No,
credit
I
unions
think
out of
that the
business.
point is to use money locally only.
So it's a
only,
motivation to spend locally.
Correct. And only certain businesses,
Well, what is the benefit of the person that is buying it?
You're going to have to listen to the show.
I was at MSK last week, but I should have tuned it in.
You could have. No, you could. No. We had Tony DeMarco on who told us about the Current, it's called, and there's a business and a fellow who started this whole thing, and I think the benefit to the business is that I'm going to go. I guess you could use U.S. dollars, but we'll find out.
Well, I could see the businesses because
yeah.
it would keep people spending locally.
And I
But
think
what
the
about-
buyer is just you're just trying to keep business locally, and it's not it's not credit card, it's not Amazon, it's not I think it's trying to stay in Ulster County.
Does anyone anymore pay for anything by cash? Everything is credit card. I see people $8 at Terry's Market using a credit card.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Well,
think
that's maybe the younger generation are doing that. I think, and I don't mean to be seriously. I think the older
younger than me,
folks.
Sonny?
No, no. I'm going to say folks in their 50s, 60s in that neck of the woods tend. I'm going to stop right there. Tend to use cash more than
we do.
The kids in the 20s and 30s and 40s. I mean, do you see that? Your own families, maybe?
Kids don't use cash.
I would agree with that. I tend to be more of an electronic person, though.
Mhm.
So I don't really carry cash. I'll go into Stewart's and get a cup of coffee and use my debit card.
There you go.
Yeah, see, I don't have a
There you
debit
go.
card. Like several credit cards, but I bank online. That is so
it's
easy.
great.
It's to pay your bills and have a record there that's great. Super.
You don't have to keep records of anything anymore. Everything's electronic and online, and
Until somebody gets into your account.
yeah, exactly.
Which hasn't happened yet. I guess it's a matter of time. How do you folks in the credit union, how do you protect, or what do you advise your customers to protect their accounts? Is there something, you see all these online ads all the time about things. What do you recommend? Did that question make any sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
How do you protect against somebody getting into your accounts online?
So there's all kinds of, and I can't think of what it's called right now off the top of my head, but when you sign in, not only are you putting in your account number and your password, but you also have questions that you're going to answer that somebody else wouldn't know.
Verifying your account and your password.
The new thing now for a lot of places, which we don't do this yet, when you sign in, you do all that. You put your password in, you answer your questions, and then you get a text on your cell phone that gives you a code. You put that code in. So you have all these different layers of security that you have to get through. It makes it harder for somebody else to get into your account.
Yeah, I know that when I was on the bench, my court attorney, John Prizzi, is a brilliant guy and is very insular about his accounts, yet through I don't mean to badmouth Central Hudson, but through Central Hudson's account, they got his identification and password that he used regularly, and it took him about 1.5 years to recover from that. So what I try to do is use different passwords for virtually each account. Now that can be quite confusing, especially for someone my age, but I keep a hard copy record of it. And it's a little more time consuming, but I think that may be a good idea. So then if somebody gets into one account, they're not getting into all of your accounts.
Right. And they tell you don't use
Any of your names, your family.
your pets' names and things that somebody
Numbers
would
and
know.
symbols and complicated passwords.
Yeah, and then it's so hard to type in. It drives me crazy when I'm trying to get online. But I knock on
Formica,
laminated
laminated wood.
Knock on wood, I have not been hit yet because I hear it's pretty obnoxious to overcome that.
It is. And it happens, I mean, I can hear accounting is just down the hall from me, and I hear them on a daily basis, people calling saying somebody got my debit card or, I mean, it happened to me once. I went to Stewart's to get gas, put my debit card in the machine, and it came back, see attendant. So I went in, and she said, your card is blocked. So I went to work, and somebody had my card information, and they were trying to rent a hotel room in Texas.
That has happened to me.
So
Through my credit cards. But it's great because the credit card, anytime, several different advertised companies, every time that there's a purchase that looks a little out of the ordinary, they contact you.
Right.
And then what's great is if it is not something you've authorized, just based upon your word, I didn't authorize it, they cover it. So debit cards, I'm not sure, has that same protection, does it?
they
It
do.
does? Oh, great.
They do. Yeah, and there's zero liability. So if anything like that happens to you on a
amazing.
card, yeah,
There you go.
And how do
Okay.
you guys must have insurance to cover for that?
we do. Mhm.
I have a news flash, and the news flash is, it's called the Hudson Valley Current. This is
We
the...
were all sitting
this
on
is
the edges of our seats.
Well, yeah, don't
I'm
fall off.
I'm
The current-
curious. I have to
Hudson
say.
Valley Current.
Hudson Valley Current, and the website is hudsonvalleycurrent.org. So it was started by a fellow by the name of Chris Hewitt. Chris owns Tilda's Kitchen and Market in the Midtown area. And I'll tell you, it's a not-for-profit organization, for one. The Current is an alternative currency recognized by the IRS that can only be used within the Hudson Valley at member businesses.
That's fantastic.
By using the Current, we ensure that our money stays local and is used to strengthen businesses in our community. What happens when our money stays local? Our main streets, our local businesses, and our neighbors keep more of the wealth, which strengthens our local community. So there you go.
So being the constant skeptic that I am, what exactly is Chris Hewitt getting from this? Other than I hope it's because of his interest in the
So again, it's a not-for-profit. Let's see, not-for-profit is dedicated to proving that there is more than enough money, resources, and love to share with everyone in our communities. The Hudson Valley Current is a nonprofit organization dedicated to local economic development. We're here to challenge the scarcity myth, that the belief that there is not enough. By challenging scarcity, we are committed to exchanging, sharing, and teaching abundance within the Hudson Valley. And the money is very ornate, and there's a
You
a
actually
1,
get a
a
piece
5,
of-
a 10. Yeah, to actually get a piece of paper. So yeah, so
something for your credit union to look
there's
into.
looks like a bee on there. There's a lot of cool little. I don't know what that thing is. An osprey, maybe. I don't know.
And then what happens? What happens if people suddenly are not? I go out and I buy $5,000 worth of bees and birds and stuff like that, and then suddenly I go to a local establishment and they said, "Get out of here." With
Yeah,
that
well,
stuff."
no,
So
it has to be a member business. So apparently there's a system, and we're going to try to have
that'd
Chris
be
on, and we're going to have him on the
Good.
third Thursday, so that
Because you want him to get a taste of my alter ego, Frank Williams. There's a story behind that. We won't go through it in
Behind
detail.
it.
But
Yeah.
the assistants that used to work for me when I was DA, they said I had an alter ego, and it was Frank. And Frank was not looked at as particularly
Kind.
cheery, kind, sensitive, caring, compassionate. I was tough. And the way that this came about is anytime if an assistant made an error that caused a victim or community a problem, I'd bring him into my office, and without knowing, unconsciously, I would lean and say, "Let me be frank with you." Or, quite frankly, I'm not happy with what you've done. So that's, but you see the friendly bright sides.
Oh, yeah.
No, Chris
Charming,
Hewitt, if you're
charming.
listening, and I
Yeah.
hope you are,
Yeah.
especially if he has a local interest.
Yeah.
Chris, it'll be gentle. I had the
Yeah.
DA in, and I threw him softballs.
Yeah, you did. Tell me about the Ulster Federal. Tell us about the Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union and why people stay there so long.
Ulster Federal.
Oh yeah, what did I say?
Hudson Valley.
Oh,
So it's only a
Jesus,
competitor.
Lord,
You're doing
Lord,
well.
Lord.
It's
You're
okay.
trying,
This is
you're
like
trying to get Bitcoin out.
I know.
You're putting
I
these
try to get
wonderful people
county
out of
out.
business.
I should not be on the radio today.
Steve Kelley, you didn't know about the
We are
grassroots
out
war.
of here.
Pull the covers over my head.
You're
This morning.
overextended. I mean, you are one of the
I am.
finest people I know. You're a little overextended.
I think I'm.
So tell us about the Ulster Federal Credit Union.
I have to say, it's still a credit union, so I don't get as
No,
If you
no,
said
no,
Ulster
no.
Savings, that would have been a little bit different, but it's another credit union, so.
So what I want to know is why do people stay for 25 years and 27 years? And I know you're not, Maria Hoban's been there for
There's a history.
100 years, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What is it? What is it about the place you think that distinguishes it from other of those other credit unions or other bank or no? So really, what's the secret? Is there some secret
It's
sauce?
hard to say because I've never worked at any of those other places, so I can only speak for Ulster Federal Credit Union. But it's just a great place to work. We're like a family. We're small, so we all know each other. We know each other's families, their kids, their so.
And the members, we
the
know
members.
most of our members, because most of our members are also very loyal and
Yeah.
been here forever.
Yeah,
You started out as a teachers union, right?
Correct.
That's,
Oh, really?
that's
Correct.
the story.
Teachers
I was
credit
not
union.
aware of that.
Yeah.
Still affiliated with the teachers union at all?
So it was Teachers Credit Union and Ulster
Ulster
County.
County.
And then they merged to make Ulster Federal Credit Union.
And I used to go to the Ulster County Credit Union. It was down on, that goes to the plaza, Kingston Plaza. Is that still there? It used to be the Ulster County Employees Credit Union. And, but no longer, since I'm no longer employed by the county. But so that merged with the teachers. That's,
Back
I
in the
was
day.
not aware of that.
So-
How many
and
years ago was that?
Was that in '94?
Yes, that sounds right.
It was before I came on as an employee.
Yeah, early 90s.
Did you not have a branch on, I can't remember what that drive is that leads to Kingston Plaza?
Right
by the
near-
fire.
That's where we are
That's
now.
where we are now.
Thought so,
yeah.
Yep,
That's where I
we
used to
are
bank.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, we were on Washington,
Washington Avenue.
is that?
Dutch Village.
Dutch Village Apartments, right in the
Yes,
front.
It was way too small. And I banked there too. It was way too small for you. The one that is
Yes.
on Schwank Drive, much
much
nicer.
better.
Nice
How
location.
long was Rick Manti the CEO? Like a long time?
He started also in 94.
He did right before I came on, so, yeah.
Was he the first CEO, or was there someone before?
There was someone before him. I don't remember his Steve.
It was Steve something. I never met him.
Yeah. Because it's unique. Look, I mean, it's, there's such, and Steve Kelley was talking about that too. At Ellenville Hospital, they don't have a whole lot of turnover either. And I guess, the smaller places.
Family is.
Exactly. I mean, that's the symbol, everyone's watching out for each other, and it's.
So now, for people that do not know the distinction between credit unions and savings banks, what is the major distinction?
So the members own the credit union. They actually get to vote when there's votes for board members and things like that.
That's huge.
So we're also nonprofit. So anything that we make goes into rates for members, services.
But you don't have to be an employee of Kingston Teachers.
Not anymore.
Or Ulster County. Anyone can go. Okay.
Now it's Ulster County.
And it was anyone that lives in Ulster County, or is it Ulster County employees?
It actually lives, works, worships, attends
Because
school.
at the time that I was a member, it was only, I think, for Ulster County employees. That was a long
Yes.
time ago.
Yep.
The worship part is always interesting to me, because I guess if you live in Greene County and your church is in Ulster County or your synagogue is in Ulster County, that's so random, in terms of why would they pick worship.
I would like to answer that. I really don't
I know. It's just
odd.
kind of weird. I'm in Dutchess County, but I come to a church here so I can be a member of the credit union. It's pretty random, right? Don't you think?
It does.
It's kind of.
I've never actually given it much thought.
Right.
That's for obvious reasons.
Right. But I could see the work, or I could see the live, right?
Or attending school, because if you're
Yeah.
going to school here, you want some
Or-
local bank. But
Yeah, right. In school, that's correct. Or I golf in Ulster County, so I should be able to join the Ulster Federal Credit Union.
But you live in Ulster County, do you not?
I do.
So you don't have to worry about worshiping on the golf course. So that's a huge distinction.
it is.
It really does. I mean, how great to be a part of a business or an organization where the people that are going to be served are actually the owners.
Yeah.
That really, and that probably also is one of the reasons that there's feeling of family, because everyone is involved in the business. That's great.
It's a big
really
deal.
is.
I mean, I think that is a reason. And look, I mean, these days the corporate motive, for profit overtakes the concern for the human sometimes, right?
I think.
Yes.
When Jeff Bezos is,
Well,
I pay more taxes than Amazon.
When it's all about the money.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It becomes
And
important. It
That's the wrong motivating
It's more
factor.
important than the people. And the people, if it weren't for the people, you wouldn't have the money.
Right, exactly. And we hear the stories that, the employees are making too much money, so why don't we get rid of those folks and get people that we can hire for less money? Despicable. It's despicable,
That's
really.
what the teachers union was doing at one time many years ago.
Yeah.
Let's give early retirement and benefits to buy out the older people.
Right.
We'll bring in younger people.
But that's okay, because you're giving a benefit to the senior folks, right, that have worked hard. And, I mean, so here's an extra X or whatever it is, or we'll do this for you to give you a little incentive.
But in the long term, both short term and long term, it doesn't save the local taxpayers anymore.
No, not on that side. But the corporate pieces, which is why, and look, we're blessed with Rondout Savings, Ulster Savings Bank. These are long-term
Community banks.
banks, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, and even some of the nationals certainly have local people there. I saw Tom Murphy from M&T Bank. He's a local. I mean, M&T is based in Timbuktu. Tom's a local.
Key Bank also.
Key Bank, same thing. So, but really, the grassroots organizations like yours, like the savings banks, employ local people, have local loyalties, right? And it is the family thing, and steady management. I mean, I think that's very key and important. You have turnstiles of leaders and CEOs who bring in different ideas and different ways to do things. People get unsettled, and
They
they're
do.
saying, "Eesh, I don't think so." But you've been blessed. Rick and now Bill have done a great job, and it gives people in uncertain times some steadiness. Right, which is kind of where we've been, right? Very unsteady times.
How are you doing? How are you folks doing with the employee crunch? Are you having difficulty filling vacancies, if you have vacancies?
We're not, actually. So
That's so different.
See that?
It's so that's what's so good about
Yeah, exactly.
credit unions.
Exactly.
a lot of, excuse me, a lot of our employees are word of mouth.
Right.
Or friends of people that work here.
Right.
So it's almost like you're always hiring people you know.
Same culture, same
Yes.
mindset.
Mhm.
And then people stay, so you will not
right.
have as many vacancies.
Yeah, it's really impressive
Yeah,
these
it
days.
really is.
Of
There's always something good to say about local organizations and local businesses.
Yeah.
That's why, although I'm tempted, I will not. There's something about currency with a picture of a frog on it.
Well, there's a bee.
Let's see.
And an osprey,
George Washington
maybe.
or a frog? I don't know.
There was a fish, if that makes you feel better. On
Not
the 20.
exactly.
There's a fish
Unless
on
I
the 20.
can mount it on the wall and it talks to me. You remember those talking fish?
Yes.
They were I hate
Yes,
stuff like
yes.
that, have nothing like that in my home. But I'm seriously considering buying that talking fish because that thing was hysterical.
Right. Can we? And I know we only have a few minutes, and all about community, right? So just some quick announcements that we should have gotten earlier. Hudson Valley Garlic Festival is back. We talked about this earlier in the earlier segment. The the festival is scheduled for October 2nd and 3rd up in the Saugerties Cantine Veterans Memorial Complex. It's $10 per vehicle to park.
Same days as Here is Better.
Yeah, that's correct.
Better,
That's
okay.
correct. So that's happening, the Garlic
Second and
Festival.
third.
Second and third. The second annual Rotary Capital to Capital 5K Run Walk on October 17th.
That's a
you
mouthful.
can get in that one, Judge.
A run?
Well,
A walk.
We can get in the walk.
Walk is good.
Benefit the Hudson Valley Center for Veteran Reintegration.
Same thing. That's all connected. That's right.
Richard
Gmail.
Keaveny. Yeah.
You have done your research this morning.
I have. So that one is the 17th, and you can contact Richard Keaveny. I won't give that long email, but he's going to be on the air on September 30th with me on this show. Richard.
Okay.
And then the last one is YMCA, Bike Friendly Kingston, to host Bike Repair Clinic. Judge, you can take your bike there.
Should I wear the robes?
You should. I would say robes on the bike, yes.
And wear a helmet.
Back along with the hair.
September 22nd, and you can ride in a bike lane.
I absolutely refused to even go near
the bike lane.
I jump over. I had to go to Fiden's to buy a new range.
Yep.
I parked and I jumped over the bike lane because I will not use it. Have you been on Broadway with the new?
It's horrible.
It's obnoxious.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I do like the new Rotary, though.
Yeah, everybody's digging the Rotary.
It's great.
It is great.
Yes,
However,
that's great.
that bike lane, who's going to ride a bike on Broadway?
Lisa,
1 minute.
Broughton might.
No.
Stacey Warr might.
Scary.
Stacey Warr might.
Never ride your bike on Broadway.
From Ulster Federal Credit Union. These two people might ride their bikes.
I would walk there or drive a car.
I don't like riding my bike in traffic.
No, and of course there's no traffic on Broadway, and you don't have to stop every 50 feet if you're obeying the traffic devices.
Bad. So here's what we all need to do. Go out and do a random act of kindness for someone. Buy them a cup of coffee in back of you, or her, whatever that person is. Be kind, be gentle. That's the word.
That sounds good.
That's
Help
great,
each other.
That is profound.
That is profound. It's
It
the
is.
most profound. And I also didn't fumble through it yet.
Fumbling is a way of life.
Like the Giants.
But
We hope
what
they
a
don't
nice
fumble.
note to end on.
Okay. Be well. Thank you, too,
Thank
for
you.
coming in
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you.
Lawrence, thank you. Take it away, everyone. Be
nice
safe,
meeting
be
you.
well.
Yeah, this was fun.